Welcome to this episode of Control Alt Deliberate, where we sit down with technology leaders who are transforming the way organizations think about IT, data, and digital transformation. Today, we're joined by Dr. Christopher Peacock, CIO, CTO at AHDX. They're a digital health and data company. It's redefining how information is trusted, protected, and shared in highly regulated industries. Christopher is also a professor. He's interested in giving back to the next generation, and he's a recognized voice of the intersection of innovation, governance, and clarity in communication. Christopher, it's great to have you with us.
It's nice to be here, and thank you very much. That was very well phrased.
Thank you. I try.
I gotta remember that because that's a good pitch for me.
Yeah, right. See, you can use that. You feel free. I'll give it to you for free. So, in our format's a little bit past, present, future. So let's roll back to your origin story and with your journey. How did your path in technology and leadership begin?
Actually, many moons ago, I was a triple major in school. And even before then, I knew where the trend was going in terms of technology, but I was a little immature at the time, per se. So then when I started going to college initially, I was actually a computer operator for mainframes. That tells you how far back that was. But punch cards and stuff like that. But so I decided, well, the computer science stuff is easy for me. I'm going to go into it. I mean, I was also doing biology as well in English, but then had a job doing that to pay my bills. And then when it came time to transition to the larger universities, the 4 years, etc., from the community college, I didn't have the money for all three majors, so I stuck with computer science. That's where it all began.
Got it. And I think one of the things that's intriguing to me is usually somebody picks academia or private sector, and you had started. When did you start? I guess a foot in both camps.
1982.
Okay, so early on.
Yes.
Relatively early on.
So I had actually been doing computer stuff inside of class because it was the new buzz thing, right?
Yeah.
And I turned out to excel at it. It just came to me easily. So when it became professionally, I was able to get a job as a mainframe computer operator. I had tried starting a couple small companies at a time, gaming companies on BBSs, bulletin board systems, and that was mostly just for fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about actually making $1. It's something I did. But I foresaw where it was going.
Yeah.
I mean, back in 83 and 84, 1983 and 1984, I was like, well, this is going to go toward networking. That's going to be the new thing. And so I kept on trying to position myself to go in that direction.
Right.
Then I went to the military to round out my skill set. So now I am just as skilled as I am hardware and software. And I was right. That was the direction the industry was going. I was right. And I just became an enterprise engineer or an architect. At the time, it was just network engineer, but now the new buzzword is architect. But that's how I got into it, and I just progressed from there, from the ground roots, from the grass level.
What had you stick with education?
Actually, I had gotten what I initially thought was my initial bachelor's degree many, many moons ago, just a couple of years after the dates we were talking about before. But then it turned out that it wasn't accredited. And so I was in a management program, which were for my master's. And then they said, you don't have a bachelor's. I'm like, what? So then I got another accredited bachelor's.
Yeah.
Really, really fast, like a year and a half. And then that tells you how much I pushed because I was able to figure it out. But then I was like, well, I'll do my master's now. And then I was helping a couple associates, friends of mine out. And then checking out various universities and various programs because they're like, I don't have time. Like, I'll look around for you. And then the schools called me back and they said, we got a deal for you. They offered me a very high credit transfer. I was like, a really high number, like credits. I was like, whoa, I'll take that. That's why I became a doctor.
I
The
got
plan
it.
was just to get the master's, which is what the initial objective was. But then I got offered this incredible opportunity, and I'd be foolish not to. I mean,
It's great when those show up.
we can edit out those numbers, but still.
Yeah, that's all right. So the other thing you've talked about is clarity and communication, and that it matters more than just a jargon statement.
Definitely.
Where did that mindset come? Was there a moment or an experience that made all that clear, that was a key kind of foundation for you to build on?
I was running into that quite oftentimes. I would be conversing with other IT professionals. Well, at the time it was other computer professionals, but now it's IT professionals. But quite oftentimes we wouldn't understand each other. Or then as it progressed, I would start doing something, and then they're like, "Well, why did you do this?" I said, "I did." And it turns out we were saying the same thing, but with different words. And then I would say, "Well, did you take care of this?" And they're like, "Oh, you mean blah blah blah." I assumed we were talking about the same thing. It turned out we weren't, because the jargon could mean totally different things.
There's nothing
And I
worse than
ran
having
into
a
that. What's that?
disagreement around semantics.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And as a consultant, because I ended up falling into the consulting realm because I had done full-time work for the government. And then when I decided to get into networking, it was so difficult to get a permanent role.
Yeah,
So I ended up doing consulting and becoming a consultant or a contractor. And so then I ended up working across multiple different verticals. And the jargon might sound the same, but it's not.
yeah,
Talking about
yeah,
totally different things. And it was bothering me. That's being polite. And so I decided to quit using acronyms as often as I can.
yeah.
And
I ditto, believe it or not. Like, I'm right there with you, because first you got the problem even with the people that know,
yes,
and then often you're in a room that people don't know. And what I've found in humans, very rarely will be like, can you explain what the hell you just said? I don't know what that is.
all the time.
They'll just nod and smile and be like, yeah, yeah, we should do that. You don't even know what I mean. Idea. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I try not to be rude to people when that comes up. I'm like, so just to make sure, it depends because I speak to the audience.
Yeah,
And if they're supposed to be technology savvy wise, then I'll throw things out there and I'll see the response. And I'll know if they get what I'm talking about.
yeah.
And a
The
lot of times
glassy
they
eye.
don't.
Yeah, are they enrolled in the conversation, or they have the 1,000 mile stare, right? Like,
Yeah, the deer in the headlight look.
yeah, glassy eyes, right? It's like, okay, I can tell you, let's roll this thing back. And well, and here's I think it's also that people don't want to think they're stupid, but the difference is between ignorance and stupidity is as long as that bridge is.
Yes,
Ignorance is just uneducated.
yes,
It's okay to be uneducated. Like, we didn't come out of the womb. You and I, even though we're technological savants with
yes.
we didn't come out of the womb with that. We learned
No,
that.
it's things you pick up along the way. You're right. In your exposure to different events, even now, I might not know some of the terms, but I know at the granular level what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't call it that because that's not what it was called, or I didn't know what it was called when I started doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you start getting all eloquent and stuff like that. Oh, this is because of, and then once again, communication goes out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in consulting, that the whole word bingo thing was always a thing.
Yeah.
Um, so now let's bring it back to present day. So tell me a little bit about AHDX. What are you guys up to? How does your team bring their vision to life with technology?
Well, the thing that we're trying to maximize on is the secure nature of blockchain,
Yep.
and we're offering a hybrid storage method that employs not only the traditional on-prem or you have the cloud option. We also offer blockchain-based storage through our service partners for retention and longevity on top of the extra level security. We're working on the next level of encryption so that when I still forget what it's called. When it comes into play, then we will be ready. I mean, when you get the next level of processing comes out, it could churn through the present encryption in minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking probably like quantum computing or
Yes.
whatever that next tier of.
I was thinking of solid state, quantum, all the others. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the things that unfortunately brute force all of a sudden becomes viable again
A thing.
because
Yes.
you know
Exactly.
they can process millions of permutations per millisecond. It's like or probably nanosecond, God knows what. But
We have first generation iterations of that out there now.
yeah,
But so we're actually working on that as well. But back to the initial question. That is what our offering is. We have patents pending for this as well for our method. We're going to offer this level of security and retainability to the healthcare industry to start with for HIPAA compliance and all those. And then our next vertical we're going to target is going to be the financial technology or fintech.
yep,
Those they have a big need for that as well. But our initial foray into the field is going to be for the medical industry.
I got it. So if I roll back my clock, 17, 18 years ago when we started Paragrid, which the idea was, bring your IT to the cloud. We were like a white gloves MSP. One of the things that we had a problem with, I mean, Microsoft had just started advertising even the cloud. So, we had to, as our marketing company said, like, Henry Ford you didn't have to explain what a car is to people. But way back when you did, right? So we had that problem where we had to explain what the hell we meant when we talked about our solution. Is there anything with your guys' digital transformation in your product that you think that'll be a hurdle you need to clear because people are so set on, oh, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I'm going to put my data out, not even in some other new technology, but some distributed
Yeah, all over the
thing.
place. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the right approach. That's the right gesture all over the place.
it is, right? Everywhere. You don't know
But
where it
that's
is.
the
Yeah.
point. You know, we have some key phrasing and parts of our core pitch will be about that. It's just to get people to understand why and how we're able to offer that level of encryption.
Yeah.
Because not only is it encrypted, it's dispersed.
Yeah. Distributed. Yep.
That is actually one of the biggest factors behind this level of security. I
That's
didn't want
awesome.
too much into the weeds here, but yeah.
No, it's good. That I hope the
Well, I
people
might be the
watching.
CIO and CTO, but my direction of late has been more the CIO, get everybody to understand uh heuristically how everything goes together, the flow. That's more important.
Yeah, yeah. I
Other
think it,
people,
and look, I hope our listeners are the people that enjoy being in the weeds because I go there a lot too. Because again, and I think it's a good mix of high level and then in the weeds in this. So I do have a question about in the weeds a little bit maybe. So because you've got this kind of background of part practitioner, part professor,
yeah.
how does that shape the way you either lead teams or evaluate new technology? Like again, what you're going to take on coming in the future?
Well, it enables me to cut through the minutia because I have a built-in lie detector these days. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Now, since I have risen to this level per se, it's not really a level, but
Yeah.
it's all in the way you view things, how everything works together. It's a big puzzle, and all the pieces have to work together, not just the technology. And because I have matured to this quote unquote level, I can see how all the pieces fit together and what the exchanges should be.
Yeah.
I mean, architecturally, I can talk about some various products where that is what those architectural products do, are
Yeah.
just the numbers and the exchanges, the IOs, the ins and outs. And so I have seen all levels and all directions of how organizations work, how business work. I've started companies. I've been with anywhere from mom and pops to Fortune 100s. And so you see all the various components. I know how they work together. That's what I bring to the table. I see how all the pieces are supposed to work together, mesh, as well as I have a detector for what makes sense on the technology side. Now, some of it I might not be able to do as quick as I would like, but
Yeah.
there are people that specialize in that, and so let them do what they did. But I can converse with people at all levels. It doesn't matter. That's what I bring to the table. That merging of vision and hands-on.
Yeah. In our initial call, I really got like one of the things I think you and I are both cut from that same cloth of is like, even though we're often one of the smartest and experienced people in the room, you don't have to be egotistical. Like you can drive ideas from other people. To your point, go get an expert. You're like, look, I know enough to be dangerous, so I'm going to bring this guy in or gal in and have them do it, right? Because
Yeah,
that's what they do.
I happen to be relatively smart. We won't go there, but and I'm very good at what I do. I mean, I wouldn't have made it this far. I would not have been a independent consultant working for consulting companies for 3 decades
Yeah,
if I couldn't do the job.
yeah, solve the problems, right? Yeah,
It's like now I don't have time. There are too many things that are drawing my attention that need my input for me to at least touch them. Because at the C-suite level, which is where I play, and it is all a big game, but we won't go there. At the C-suite level, it's not all about the multitude of small decisions. It's about being able to make the instrumental pivotal decisions, the ones that large changes ride upon. Those are the key part of your job. It's good to know all those other things because they come up too, and you're going to have to do those too. But it's making the big choices, the big decisions that have a instrumental impact on the organization. That's where your bread and butter comes from. That's what you're being paid for. Now,
able to rally people to that, right? Like give them the
yeah,
North Star for them.
there's a term for it. It's a servant leader. That is incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a holistic viewpoint because I see the whole picture
Hmm.
with a servant leader mindset because I'm all about nudging. I sometimes will go in a room and say nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody will be talking for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll say something
Yeah.
because I didn't know what I know the landscape then. And you're right, it's not about driving the conversations, it's about being part of it.
Yeah.
And you nudge things. I mean, not to be egotistical, but I'm very good at shifting directions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. For me, it's somewhat pulling the string, and more importantly, empowering your people.
Yes,
Because
there is a
otherwise,
reason.
you got to get to that point. You can't be the guy trying to get it all done yourself. You got a team. You're building a team.
Overwhelming. You can't. I mean, I've
Yeah.
tried it, and you didn't suffer if you get not careful burnout.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, I that 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 truth detector, that lie detector that I had before, that applies when I speak to someone or I'm hiring them or bringing them on board for the services they're offering. And if I get the appropriate feel from them as a person, not just what on paper, I say, glory be, take care of it.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah.
long as you show you're doing what you're being asked to do, I don't bother you.
Right.
It's not my job to hold your hand. I mean,
To your point, C-level micromanagement is not really sustainable.
doesn't work. No. Micromanagement always has issues. Now there are situations where it plays a definite role.
Yeah.
There are a lot of manufacturing kind of stuff where you need that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when you get more on the innovations and new
Knowledge.
implementation and stuff like that, kind of where I enjoy playing, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You bring them to the table for what they have, who they are, and you're just the maestro, the orchestrator. Da, da, da.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I'm with you. All right. So if we're casting that out a couple years, I got
Okay.
a couple questions for you. So first, do you think as a whole we're heading more towards decentralized data versus kind of this federated model we've pretty much been the driving component behind data and ownership and control?
It's going to be more in that direction, I feel. Now, for the longest time, there'll probably be a quote unquote hybrid approach.
Yeah.
Now, there are some situations where the federated model still holds sway. It's the way to do it. It really is. But those small islands per se will then have to integrate with everybody else, at least what they're able to distribute. So most likely that will be the case. Back when the cloud was get in the forte per se, everybody's like, no, things are not as secure on the cloud. Well, now it is just as secure, or more so. I mean, the go into a little side joke there. The most secure system is one you can't get into.
Yeah. Right.
And you can't use it.
It's a connected air gap system, which seems
Air gap system
right.
is work. Yes.
I mean,
I haven't heard that
tough,
phrase in a while, but yeah.
tough to hack. So yeah, I get it. I really get it.
But no, it's
Uh,
going to head in that direction. It's going to go to distributed. I mean, it's the way to go. Uh, the uh, the cloud base now even then, everybody cannot forget. I just have to put this out there that it might be cloud based, but the reality is it's still based on hardware somewhere.
yeah.
Even if it's just virtualized hardware, it's still hardware. And that virtualized servers are based on hardware. I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, what the cloud is just servers somewhere else, right?
Yes.
I mean,
And so it's going to go that way. What's going to get even more so is the zones. I got a feeling there's going to be a change in that
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because that's
And where
the
it's
only way to be more universal in nature. And as we improve our ability to connect, that's going to have to change. How, I don't
plus,
know.
plus, I have a big belief that it's also adding security by an additional level of obfuscation, right? It's
Yes.
to your point, if Fort Knox's gold was hidden in 7,000 different places across the globe,
How do you get it? Yeah.
right? Not only can you not access it, which is good, but even if you are able to get a piece of it, you're not going to get all of it.
Well, also, you have the hybrid cloud models right now,
Yeah.
where there are multitudes of different cloud service providers, but they're all linking. Now, that is the thing now. But yeah.
Yeah. So last question, what advice do you give your students as they're becoming, or learning their ways to becoming the next generation so they don't lose the human connection, the clarity of communication, everything you kind of stand for?
Well, something that I repeat in nausea is that be clear, don't get on a pedestal, and read your audience. Know what it is you're talking about. and don't just talk the talk. I mean, just talking just to hear yourself talk. Now, something that I see quite oftentimes when you're addressing a problem or a question, read it and then answer it and then say what you said and then say why you said it.
Mhm.
Quite oftentimes people forget that. And then you lose your audience and no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's with any communication. Now, you had said in terms of my students, it's all about reading the whole thing and keeping your mind open. You read or see the entire conversation and see how it's progressing and you add to it. You don't only see your voice. You got to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know that's a little vague there, but yeah.
No, I get. It's something I am subscribed to as well. Are you moving the conversation forward, or are
Yeah.
you just picking a thread that like I'm gonna hammer this thing home? It's like, dude, you gotta hear the whole. You gotta see
The
the whole picture. Step
whole
back.
collage. If you want to hammer a point, I do that. I go, but to put this idea to bed, I beat it with a big hammer, and then I go with the other. But
Yeah.
that's a flow of conversation thing that I got to be very careful on because I can change topics left and right, and then keep them all in my head in the thread. A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. I feel you.
For clarity, I try not to do that. I'm way better than I used to be.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Because yeah, you do lose people. Well, sir, I appreciate the time. It's a great conversation, and thank you so much for being a guest on the show today.
So I do hope that we at least addressed in general terms your points of interest, and
Yeah,
I'm always open to further conversations.
great.